Hey, what's up, Daily Dosers? My name's Austin Payne, and I'm one of the high school pastors on the Vista campus. And during this time of quarantine, I feel like all of the normal things that are either distractions or escape for me, like sports or going to the beach or exercise or dinner parties, going out, hanging out with friends, even church of coming and gathering with people, those have all kind of faded away. And it's really started to beg the question of me of how does the gospel impact my daily life? And there's 3 verses that, like Proverbs says over and over and over again, that I have to keep them in front of me and I have to focus on them and refocus on them and pay attention and really bring them up for myself and put them in front of me daily. And it's, for me, the gospel, it's John 10:10. It's life and life abundant. And in Matthew chapter 11, a familiar verse for probably a lot of us, it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble in heart. You will find rest in your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And I love that the gospel for Jesus, it wasn't an escape from the world around us. It wasn't the good news that we can kind of eclipse this world and not have to live in it. It's not an escape, it's equipment for the world that we find ourselves in right now. And I love that my yoke is easy, my burden is light. This is life and life abundant. And Paul puts it like this in 1 Timothy chapter 6. He says, "May you take hold of life that is truly life." And the thing that Jesus got across to his followers and continues to get across 2,000 years later through his word is that we don't have to just escape the world around us, that he gives us a way, right? John 14:6 says Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And not only is this true, but he's provided and demonstrated, hey, here's a new way to do life. Here's how to handle, your finances. Here's how to do marriage. Here's how to do relationships with brothers and sisters and family. And for me, as I find myself quarantined in a lot of those distractions and escapes that I have day in and day out. And not that they're necessarily bad things, right? Sports or exercise or coming to church and gathering with friends, none of those things are bad. But if I choose to engage in distractions and escape to kind of remove myself from the reality of the world around me, I miss the power of the gospel that says this is a new way of doing life. And I love Jesus's challenge to say, hey, come and follow me. And it's not just this list of rules and regulations. Scripture is not about all that we have to do to get to God. It's this amazing story of what God did to get to us and now provide a way to do life differently. And so for me, man, the gospel is this equipment and it's this journey on how do I do life and wake up every morning and put this life and life abundant in front of me? How do I put this life that's actually life, as Paul says? How do I refocus on it on a daily basis so that today I might engage in a new journey, a life that's abundant, a life that's fulfilling, a life that's satisfying? And as I sit around and go like, man, there's no sports on right now, or man, I can't go and surf, or I can't, hang out with my friends. I'm invited into this new way that's so satisfying and fulfilling in a way that none of those escapes are, right? And we might know that in our heart of hearts, and yet we keep chasing after the next thrill, or we keep chasing after, the next goal in exercise, or, hosting another dinner party, or going on another vacation, or man, how can we explore something new or learn something new or a new hobby? And all of those things have their place. But when we pursue Jesus above all of those things become assets for me in life, not life itself. And the gospel at its core is this invitation to live the most satisfying, most fulfilling, most abundant life possible. And that's the journey that Jesus invites us on to say, man, God richly provides us everything that we need for our enjoyment. He's generous. He goes above and beyond to say, follow me and you'll experience life like you've never experienced it before. Thanks, Daily Dosers.